So on these problems where we have f of x bigger than 0, what it's asking for is the intervals on which the graph is positive. The f of x is y, so y being bigger than 0 means positive intervals above the x-axis. So this is the line y equals 0. And so anytime we're above here is what we're looking for. And so I'm going to box this region right here. Starts at 7 and it ends at 1. That's the region we're focused on. Everything else doesn't matter for now. So what we do is just say that the interval, the domain, it's the x value. So they were looking for a domain interval, a set of x's, and it starts at -7. For some reason, I wrote 5. That's cool. Starts at -7. And it ends at 1. So what we do is we parenthesis that, because this is not including 0. Positive is not including 0. It's above 0. So we don't put brackets. We have to put parentheses on these particular problems that ask for positive or negative intervals. Okay? All right, very similar to this time, except that they ask us to be negative intervals. So when it's negative, remember f of x is really y. So negative means less than 0. And I write that because it's going to translate between both of those. It's going to switch between those. So this is y equals 0. And so negative means below that. So I'm going to box the region below like this. This is where the graph is below there. And I just have to write it as an x interval. And so we just say it starts at -6, it ends at -2. That's when it's negative. That's when it's down here, this region right here. So I put a comma, and then again, parentheses, not brackets, because we're not including the 0. So now it wants intervals that are negative. So less than 0, negative. And what you'll notice is that there are 2 intervals that are down below the x-axis. Here at -5, you'll notice is the first place where it starts switching from negative to positive. So this to the left is actually what I want to discuss. And then again here at 3, it starts going down below the x-axis again. So my job is to describe both intervals and say this interval is x is less than, not equal to -5. You could write that in set notation. Or the interval would be -∞, comma, -5, parentheses on both. Then you would write union, and up here you'd write or if you're doing set notation. You start at 3, and then you go to the right, so x is bigger than 3 if you're doing the set one, or you say 3, comma, infinity with parentheses on both. And again, my preference is this interval notation, but the set notation works just fine also.